I'm former Republican State Senator Phil Harriman, and of course my friend and colleague, former Democratic State Senator Ethan Strimling. The U.S. Senate debate between Shenna Bellows and incumbent Susan Collins is now behind us. Ethan, was there anything that came out of those, series of debates around the state that's going to change the outcome?
Certainly not going to change the outcome. You and I in our column last weekend, our sort of over-under was, is Shenna going to actually get to 30%, or will she be below it or above it? You felt like she was going to be below it. I think she probably did enough in these debates to get herself above that number. But really the dynamic is fundamental. Susan Collins, one of the most popular politicians in Maine today, if not in Maine history, about to walk into her fourth term.
Not only that, but I have to say, both candidates, Susan Collins ran like she was behind from day one. She, I suspect, even in the waning days of the campaign, is going to pour on the campaign steam, if you will, to assure voters that she's not taking anything for granted. And Shenna Bellows, give her credit.
Absolutely.
She probably sensed from the beginning this was an uphill battle. She earned the support of enough financial backers to run a very credible campaign. If you look back through history, I bet she raised enough money from a historical point of view to be a winning candidate.
Yeah, in anything probably but the U.S. Senate. I mean, she raised about $2 million, certainly more than what a lot of people thought. Not as much as Tom Allen, who raised $4.5 to $5 million, or Shelley Pingree a long time ago, but just a great campaign. I think her walk across Maine was very smart. She got to meet a lot of people. I think she's built up her favorables very positively, so now she needs to take a look at what she might want to run for next and maybe take a step back, reflect a little bit, and figure out what that race is. But she set herself up well.
Yeah, and I would just add this comment to it. I think Susan Collins comes out of this campaign as demonstrating that she has the support of a wide spectrum of Maine geographically and economically and so forth, and that she can prove that her voting record in Washington has been as bipartisan as I suspect it can get in Washington. Shenna Bellows comes out of this campaign with the label of, I think it was one of the major newspapers, is the most liberal candidate running for the U.S. Senate. So she's going to have to perhaps recalibrate that in the
Any expectations? Fourth term, United States Senate. She's now in Margaret Chase Smith territory. What's your sense of expectations?
I'm curious to know, many of the pollsters around the country are predicting by a significant margin that Republicans will regain the Senate. That will put Susan Collins as chair of a committee or two.
Big-time committee.
It's going to enable her to be the face and the voice of the U.S. Senate, and we're going to see what direction the country goes in, and she's going to have quite an influence over that.
Maybe she'll bring home a little more bacon. A little more federal spending?
That's the problem.
You going to be all right?
That's the problem. We keep going there to the barrel to get more pork.
We need roads.
He can't help himself.